Hi, here are my top 10 horror movies. Starting with Dead Ringers, in no particular order, of course. Dead Ringers is with Jeremy Irons, and it's about twins, so he gets to really work his acting in this one. He plays both parts and really does a terrific and very convincing portrayal. It's about, I guess, these twins who get involved with the same woman, and what else could go wrong? At any rate, check it out. My second one is Halloween, and by the way, that Jeremy Irons Dead Ringers is from 1988. Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis, 1978. I'm sending you to the original. Obviously there are many other Halloweens, but the first one you should definitely see. The music in itself is very spooky, and that alone will give you nightmares just listening to it. I have seen the film maybe a few times, but just the music alone just scares me. And if you happen to catch it when you're at home alone, oh boy. So anyway, Halloween, check it out, 1978 with Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay, now we go to Rosemary's Baby, 1968 with Mia Farrow. Wow. Well, this film is about, guess what? Rosemary's Baby. What could possibly go wrong with that? You'll have to watch it. It's beautifully acted and very suspenseful, and definitely a masterpiece in my opinion. So we move on to Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. Again, I believe this is another Cronenberg film. And Christopher Walken basically plays a man who wakes up in a coma, and life has changed for him. And it's a very interesting film, but above all, Christopher Walken is haunting. He is just at his best. We move on to Silence of the Lambs. Here's the 1991 with Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins is truly spectacular in this. A very memorable character that you would never want to meet. But well worth seeing if you haven't seen it. Here we go. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. This is a remake, but my God, this is an unbelievable, thought-provoking film with Donald Sutherland, and well acted. You have to definitely see it, and it'll make you think. Poltergeist, 1982. This is with Craig T. Nelson, and definitely worth seeing. I have nothing more to say. The Omen with Gregory Peck is a 1976 film, and again, it's, you know, the acting and the way the film is put together, the script is just, you know, well thought out, and the little boy is something else. By the way, again, situation in which we're dealing with pregnancy and a child, just like Rosemary's Baby. Okay, so we move on to Psycho. Well, Psycho is a classic, Alfred Hitchcock classic from 1960 with Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins gives a phenomenal performance in this, and the most famous scene obviously is in the shower scene, and definitely worth watching If you've seen it, see it again. It's beautifully acted. Right, we move on to the 28 Days Later. Now, 28 Days Later is a film directed by Danny Boyle with Cillian Murphy, and it's from 2002. Well made and certainly interesting film for sure. Now we move on to The Exorcist. Wow, this one is truly terrifying, and this is the 1973 version with Linda Blair. This will make your head spin. Oh boy. Anyway, if it doesn't make you puke. Okay, we move on to The Shining with Jack Nicholson, 1980. Oh, if you haven't seen this one, I don't know where you've been. Gotta see it. This is a Stephen King adaptation that I didn't care for, but wow, definitely a masterpiece. And Jack Nicholson is, well, Jack Nicholson, definitely worth seeing. Beautifully acted, and the script is very well put together. Alien, 1979 with Sigourney Weaver, worth seeing for sure. And we move on. The trailer also is really a masterpiece of Alien, 1979, the original. So check that out too. We move on to 1990, Misery. Misery is an impressive acted piece by both actors, but it certainly made Kathy Bates a household name. This is this is the kind of person you would never want having a crush on you at any rate, or a fan in this case. Okay, so we move on to A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. This is about dreams, and obviously there are a bunch of these Nightmare on Elm Street, so you're definitely worth seeing. And that's again directed by Wes Craven, 1984. Alright, so we move on to The Fly, another Cronenberg film. Obviously there's a trend here. 1986 with Gina Davis, and an incredible performance by Jeff Goldblum. I think it's Jeff. I can't, well, might as well not pronounce it. But definitely worth seeing. His performance is truly mesmerizing and heartbreaking. So we move on. Cat People, 1982 with Natasha Kinski. I wanted to include that. Now obviously Natasha Kinski, if you're not familiar with her, is truly beautiful and charming, and she's incredible in this film, Cat People. We move on to The Blair Witch Project. Well, The Blair Witch Project is a 1999, one of those what they call found footage, and it did pretty well in the box office. And at any rate, check it out. Night of the Living Dead. That's George Romero's 1968 film. It's in black and white, but if you haven't seen it, it's one of those films that you definitely have to add to your repertoire. Anyway, thanks for listening, and check out my other videos. Bye.